Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded for women and women entrepreneurs, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, and relationships with mind mastery and meditation tools and techniques so that you can live the life that you're proud of. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I am hoping to find you calm and confident. And if I am not finding you calm and confident, then it is my intention during this episode to give you a nugget of inspiration towards your transformation to create more calm and confidence in your life. Today we're going to be talking about how to release anxiety from your life. When we were at the meditation room, a young lady walked into our booth, again feeling the amazing energy of our booth that we created, which I just love to do so much. And we do that with just setting the intention that anybody who walks into our booth feels this sense of belonging. And she walked in and I could just tell that she was nervous. And she was looking at our products, which are mala beads and meditative kits. And we probably had pillows back then too, like meditation pillows. And I remember her picking up some incense and smelling it and just kind of sitting with it. And it was sandalwood, which is a very grounding incense. And she's just like, oh my God, this smells so good. And it just feels so great to be in your booth. And it dawned on me in that moment that this young lady who came in kind of nervous and went right to the incense, that I felt like she did not have a sense of belonging on this planet. So as I began to talk to her and finding out exactly why she came to the Spirit Fest and why she was attracted to our booth, and her coming in, I was inundated, if that's the right word to use right here, inundated with the emotion of anxiety. I could feel the nerves and the chaotic energy running through her system. And the closer I got, the more anxious I felt. And so all I did was step back and kind of cleared the energy with my hand. And she asked what I was doing. And I said, I'm just getting a sense that you're feeling either really nervous or really anxious. And she says, how did you know? And I said, well, I can just kind of pick up your energy and you just sound or feel kind of nervous to me. And she goes, I suffer from anxiety. I always have. Now, did you hear the belief? I suffer from anxiety. She's making an intention statement right there that continues to perpetuate her belief of anxiety. And then she says, I've had it my whole life. So she's continuing to solidify and identify with this belief. So as we continued our conversation, I said, I noticed that you went right over to the sandalwood incense. What did that feel like to you? And she goes, it just gave me this sense of belonging. Like I just felt like this part of the earth. And it really gave me peace. And I said, well, I think that if you did groundings every day, that you would really recognize that you do belong on this planet and you have a purpose here. And it could be a big, giant purpose of serving all the people on the planet, or it could be a small purpose, and not small as in unimportant, but smaller as in maybe I'm just meant to be the best mother and to raise the best family. And all of those things are great. Everybody has a purpose. There isn't one person on this planet that does not have a purpose in being here. But a lot of us feel like we don't belong here. And when we feel like we don't belong here, it tends to attack us in our body. We get a sense of feeling of doom and this helplessness and powerlessness that why are we here? What are we doing? What is our purpose? And the more I began to talk to her, I recognized that she had a skill that she should share with others. And her skill was about painting and creating, but she didn't know how to bring it about. And of course, as you sit back and think, well, if you're painting and creating, well, wouldn't you just sell those things? Well, as you know, if you are an entrepreneur, you do know how hard it is to bring your gift to the world, how to present your gift to the planet, and how hard that can be for a lot of people. Me included, until I've made the commitment to record a podcast every day. But I did suffer from anxiety. What I tried to do, though, is not identify with it, meaning that I, Jen, in this physical body, I'm going to identify every single day with anxiety. I tried to separate my belief from my identity. And I tried to help her see the same thing. And because she was in our booth, she definitely was open-minded to things changing. And so I walked her through a very short grounding exercise, which I'm going to include after this podcast. And I'm also going to include it as its own episode. So you don't have to listen to this whole part of this episode before you get to the grounding, but just know that it is coming after today. I will include it. But as we began to discuss her goal or her purpose on the planet and her joy in creating and painting, that I started to realize that what she really wanted was calm and confidence. Having calm and confidence to her was what would replace this anxiety. So I told her, you have to be painting. You have to be creating joy. And she says, it's fine. And I do sometimes, but because I don't know how to get this gift that brings me joy out to the world, it creates anxiety. So here's my take on anxiety and how it goes. So if you create this thought and you identify with anxiety, which it's an emotion, right? And it's an emotion based in fear. And we've all experienced it to some degree. But if you are suffering from anxiety more than most, like on a daily basis or an hourly basis, eventually it's going to start affecting you physically, as we already know. It's going to start not only manifesting continuous circumstances and experiences in your life, but it is also going to affect your physical being. So like creating doom, depression. You might suffer from panic attacks. How about headaches, irritability, an upset stomach, fatigue, and muscle pain? If we can learn to manage our emotions and understand what our body is trying to tell us, we can start to heal our body in this natural state. And anxiety is something that a lot of people suffer from. So what I'm going to walk you through today and to advise you on is how to move anxiety out of your body once and for all and putting you back into the driver's seat of empowerment. So I'm going to ask you this question. If you do suffer from anxiety, I'm going to ask you if you feel like you belong on this planet. And you can the answer probably already surfaced. I only gave you like 2 seconds to answer, but it probably already surfaced. So it's either a yes or a no. And sometimes for me, if I am in my purpose, if I am doing what my gift is on this planet, then of course I feel like I belong here. But if I'm having a hard time, if I'm getting overwhelmed or feeling a sense of anxiety, the answer would have been no, I don't belong here. So it is a little bit of a teeter-totter. So I understand if it's sometimes yes, sometimes no. But in this moment, if it is a yes, then I would ask you, if you didn't have anxiety, what would you have? And what is the word that just came to your mind? If you weren't suffering from anxiety, what would you have? Would it be confidence, calm, self-love, higher self-esteem, trust? Because according to Louise Hay, if you are suffering from anxiety, it is because you are not trusting the flow of life. When I was telling this lady when we were this gal, when we were in the meditation room at this expo, and I was saying to her, you just have to get painting. Just get canvases and just start painting. The way to release your paintings out into the world will reveal itself. But because you are feeling anxious or overwhelmed, you are kinking the hose of the flow of getting your gift out into the world. Does that make sense? If I am not creating, if I'm just suffering and I'm just anxious and I just can't get it together, well, I am standing there kinking the hose, complaining about my life and how I can't get it out and how my gift it's not getting out there and I can't share it. My thought is just get going. Just get painting, just get recording, just get sharing, whatever it is that you do. Just start writing. Get in the flow of that energy, that joy, that gratitude of your gift that has been bestowed upon you in this human experience. So getting into the flow of life, that's what that means. Finding the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, and that you are just in alignment with. Remember, you're in control of your vibration. You might not feel that way, but you are. And if you're a 2 when you're feeling anxious, then you have to stop and ask yourself, what is it going to take for me to be a 3? And then do that. And it might be just taking a break from what you're doing, taking a deep breath, maybe do a grounding meditation, maybe you go for a walk, take a hot bath, something that kind of slows it all down. When I think of times where I'm feeling anxious, I can sense my energy is chaotic. Like it's just this fast pace, moving molecules that are scattered all over the place. And so I feel like I need to kind of calm them all down. And I notice that if I'm starting to feel anxious, and my energy is all scattered, is that if I start moving and talking a lot slower, then things start to kind of calm down. So if you're a fast talker like me, and maybe you get nervous, is to just slow everything down so you can see what you're doing. Now, if I go back and ask you that question, if I didn't feel anxious, what would I feel? Now what I want you to do is once you have that word, let's say for this example, it's confidence. If it's confidence, now I want you to create an intention using that new word, saying something like, I am allowing confidence into my life. Now, if you don't feel confident, it's okay, but can you allow confidence into your life? Can you get at least in alignment with allowing? Or how about you try this one? I am releasing anxiety from controlling my life and allowing confidence to flow. How about that one? Maybe that intention works better. If you don't feel like you're in alignment with the new intention, you can always be in alignment with releasing the emotion that you're stuck with. I am willing to release anger from consuming my life and allow peace and calm to flow. I am willing to release depression from my life and allow harmony to flow, right? So you're willing to get rid of one to accept the other, right? So play with those a little bit and find an intention that works best for you. Then what you can do is if you have this statement, I am allowing confidence to flow into my life, and you're still feeling a little bit of resistance when you say that, is you could go through a de-energizing process. Now, what in the world do I mean by that? Well, what we call energy that is stuck in our system, in our metaphysical system, is called, that's stuck energy. And sometimes we call it a mass, but what we mean is an energy mass, not a physical mass. Though I will tell you, if it is rotating long enough and it is continuing to be stuck in your metaphysical system and you are kinking the hose, eventually it will turn into a physical thing. I was suffering from anxiety for probably, solid 6 years. And it actually had to do with my all of a sudden being moved quickly into a young child's parental role, if that makes sense. So when Amy moved in, the boys were really young, and it was really challenging for me to be moved quickly into this role. Now, saying I worked with young kids for a long, long time, but I never lived with any. It's a whole new ball game. So when I worked at the daycare for 10 years, I worked with little kids that were in diapers and it was no big deal. But when I would come home, I'm just an adult in my house, right? Well, now I'm coming home and now I'm continuing to be a parent. So we're making dinner and taking care and doing all of the things. And if you're a parent out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I will tell you, it was the aha moment for me and all parents was it was the most exhausting job I have ever experienced. Now, I absolutely love it. But there is certain challenges about it. And I am such an introvert. And being thrown into this household, not thrown, I accepted, of course. I wanted them to move in with me, and they were in a situation that they needed a place to go. And I was really, really good friends with Amy at the time. And it was the obvious choice for me, and I was in complete alignment with it. And when they moved in, it was just a change that I had to go through. And I was willing to go through it, but it created a lot of anxiety. And I would say that probably the end of those 6 years or so, I ended up creating a tumor in my stomach. And I know for a fact that it was because of this daily anxiety, because that's where I would feel it. That's where I would feel these butterflies and this churn in my stomach. And I don't really know where it was coming from, but I knew that it was there every single day. And eventually it turned into a tumor, so much so that I ended up having to have surgery to have it removed. And it was about the size of a little bit bigger than a softball. And it was a big surgery. And matter of fact, it was 4 years ago, like 3 days ago. It was at the end of January 2017. And it was a big deal, and it was a pretty serious surgery. But I will tell you what, it's gone. But before I had the surgery, I went through a coaching with my coach to de-energize it, to de-energize that anxiety, because I knew that if I was going to have surgery without doing the energy work, that I was going to recreate the same scenario. And I did not want to go through that surgery ever again. So I'm telling you now, if you are suffering from anxiety and you continue to allow this to consume your life, eventually it is going to turn into something more physical. And you may be already experiencing that. You may be already experiencing some form of physical sensation or dis-ease in your body because of this anxiety. And if you learn to let it go, you can de-energize it. And the reason we call it de-energize is because it's the slow moving energy vibration that's in your body. And what we're going to do basically is flush it out. So we call it, instead of flushing it, we call it de-energize. And so what we're going to do is you can feel into where that energy is. So when you say things like, I'm feeling anxious, stop for a moment, get into a quiet place, and feel into that emotion. Where is it located in your body? Typically, we feel anxiety in our stomach. And typically that means it's fear. We're fearing something. And it could be we're fearing, sometimes for business owners, women or entrepreneurs, we might feel a self-esteem or an attack on our confidence. It could be sabotage. It could be imposter syndrome. It could be all of these things that make us feel like someone's going to find us out and figure out that we're a fraud. So, but that's fear, and it's felt in the stomach. So you could feel into it, identify the location. Where is it at in your body? Then put all of your intention on the sensation. Does it feel big, small? What color is it? Does it have movement? Typically, anxiety is a little bit faster moving, so it might feel kind of squirmy or wiggling. And then what you're going to do is, am I willing to let this go? And then picture yourself reaching in and grabbing it and letting it go. And the easy way that I've taught a lot of clients to do this is to just wash it down the river, bring it back, give it back to Mother Earth, and be willing to let it go. Then you're going to breathe in the emotion that if you didn't have anxiety, what would you have? Now you would breathe in confidence, calm, self-love, whatever the other emotion would be that you would feel if you didn't have anxiety. Does that make sense? So first you ask, if I didn't have anxiety, what would I be feeling? And let's say it's confidence. Then the next time you're going to create your intention statement. I'm allowing confidence into my life. If you feel the resistance or if you feel more anxiety, put your attention on it. Be willing to let it go. Be willing to release it. Reach in there in your mind's eye, grab it out, and wash it down the river. And allow it to go. Allow it to leave your metaphysical system. Then breathe in confidence. Breathe in the emotion that you want to feel instead, allowing that to flow into your life. And with that, you should now be able to say the sentence, to say your intention statement and feel empowered, feel free. Because once I walked this gal through this limiting belief and through this grounding, she now could say, I'm confident. I feel confident. And she walked out of there holding her head high. And she bought some sandalwood incense. So what you could do now, and I'm going to include this, the grounding meditation is really only a few minutes long, and it is so great, and it is such a wonderful tool to use to give you a sense of belonging on this planet. And I'm going to include it here at the end of this episode. So if you have any questions, if you need maybe some assistance in walking you through this limiting belief, you have something that is stuck in your system or this emotion that you just can't let go of, please reach out. I'm on Facebook, Life Mastery Decoded, and reach out. I'd be happy to help you. Close your eyes and take a big, deep breath in. Notice the feeling of the breath passing through your nose, cool as it enters, warm as it leaves. Just notice the feeling of your breath for a moment. Allow the tension that is left in your body to simply melt away. Now imagine you have roots growing from the bottom of your feet, just like a flower. See these roots growing down into the ground, moving deeper and deeper, passing the rocks and the soil. Down, down, getting stronger and deeper, going to the very center of the earth. When your roots reach the center of the earth, watch them as they wrap around the earth's core, anchoring you solidly there. Allow the earth's core to gently pull any negative energy, thoughts, and feelings from you. Watching your body empty those negative thoughts and feelings, going down the roots to be burned off at the earth's core. Gently letting them pull down through your root system. Feel the negative energy leaving your body, mind, and spirit. Now see the earth transforming that energy into loving, positive, supporting energy. See the wonderful positive energy growing more and more and more. Now begin drawing up that loving, positive, supporting energy, pulling it back up through the root system and back into your body. Watching it now come up through the roots and entering back through your feet, moving through the body, entangling in the bones, the muscle tissue, and the very cells of your physical body. See this positive, supporting energy fill you up like smoke filling a bottle, entering to each crevice, each muscle, tendon, fiber, all the way up to the top of your head. And as your body is filling with this wonderful energy, imagine that it pours from the top of your head, running down over your body, coating you like paint, protecting you as you go through your day. Now imagine that ball of white light above your head. See this light entering the top of your head and filling every cell of your body, mixing and mingling with the positive energy from Mother Nature, from the Earth's core, and mixing together until there is a perfect, even blend. That ball of white light is universal energy, connecting you to the heavens above. Watching the positive earth energy mixing with the energy from the universe, watching them coexist together. Now breathing in deeply, you now feel firmly rooted to and supported by the earth, as well as connected to and guided by the heavens. In this place of balance, you feel much more relaxed, at peace, and in control. when you are ready, you can open your eyes and return to the room. Thanks for listening, and if you liked this episode, please take the time to like and share. Also, please visit me on my other social media pages. I'm on Instagram, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. I'm on Facebook, where we have this community titled Life Mastery Decoded, and it's a community of women and women entrepreneurs where we come together to support one another in sharing our successes and struggles. You can also check out my YouTube channel, where I share my teachings and my personal journey, and it's simply titled Jen Mack, Jenmac. Have a great day, and I hope to hear from you.